How to make a woman value you and never take you for granted. Have you ever noticed how you treat her like gold sometimes? And how she replies back to you, she just ignores it. You're always the one pushing an agenda of trying to get her to actually feel something for you. And if any of you guys want to know how all this happens, I would suggest you watch our live show that we have on the assumption disease. It's a very important video to watch, gentlemen, where you always are the one making the plans. You always are the one bending over backwards. You're always the one kissing her ass. You're always the one begging for her time. You're always the one adjusting. You're always the one showing up first and all this. And somewhere deep in the back of your mind, you keep wondering and keep asking yourself, why doesn't she treat me the same? And as I was saying to you before, even in our live show, we talked about how most people connect their worlds to actually their mother and the care of their mother, and they expect women to do the same thing. They get caught up in this whirlwind, in this fantasy, where they create this perfect script, where they take out all the things that actually matter, and they start to look at the world totally different. But they always sit around and they always ask the question, why didn't she treat me the same? Why didn't she talk to me the same? Why didn't she care for me the same way I care about her? And if, for a lot of you guys, if you don't realize it or not, for many of you guys out here, that from the moment that you met her, based off of the reality that you're in, you don't realize this, but you taught her that your time and who you are as a man doesn't cost anything at all. From the moment you told her how sexy she was, from the moment you started kissing her ass, from the moment you started begging her, from the moment you started wanting to take her out on a date, from the moment you started to even approach her, from those moments right there, everything changed. Because it was in those moments right there, you were laying down the foundation of something that you really don't understand right now. And now you're at the point right now where you're asking yourself, why is it happening this way? Why isn't she reaching out to me? Why isn't she doing these things? And most people really don't, hold on a second. Most people don't game it out enough. Most people don't game out the why behind it. But they don't understand at the end of the day, they were the ones that created this environment. You were the one that taught her you will always be there at her beck and call. You were the one that always taught her that you would always be there. You were the one that taught her that you don't have to put any effort in anything, and I'll do everything, even when you give me your bare minimum. See, most people, gentlemen, most guys out there, unfortunately, because they don't have the game, they accept 20% of a woman. They accept 30% or 5%, and they say, I would rather take 5% of her than nothing at all. But here lies the problem. You taught her that these things that I'm telling you, that she doesn't have to put any kind of effort in you because you don't value yourself. And women never value what they don't have to work for at the end of the day, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. They will never value it, and they will never care for it. And I know some of you guys want women to care, and I know some of you guys want women to actually value you. I understand that. But one cannot ask a woman to value him when he really doesn't even value himself. And that's where we were talking about on the show, and I hope y'all watched that episode, where sometimes the disease of the assumption does a lot to a young man because they get the false interpretation of something that's not even there. They want it to be there so bad, and they want the woman to like them so bad. They want the woman to actually care about them so bad that when that woman gets around him and she can give him the bare minimum, he's actually cool with it. He's really fine with it. And he really reinforces her behavior, as in, you know what, you could talk to me and treat me any old kind of way. And not only am I not gonna have a problem with it, but I'm gonna also reward your behavior and let you know that it's okay to treat me the way that you're treating me. And this is where everything goes wrong with so many guys out there because of again, what we talked about in live, the assumption disease that a lot of y'all guys have. And please watch that so you can see the symptoms that you have. And most of you guys out here lose value in a woman's mind first before she ever loses it and leaves you. The moment you guys fall in love with a woman, the problem is that you don't actually know what you're falling in love with because you don't know what love is for yourself. So what happens is that you fall into the idea of her. You fall in love with the idea. Remember, you guys are writing this great script that you want to make everything based off of your terms, and you're going to fall in love with the idea. Like we were talking about with your mom. Your mom was the one that gave you a screenshot of unconditional love that trained you to look for that in a woman who doesn't have to do anything for you at all. But sometimes we get caught up in that hoopla of our hearts racing and our hearts pumping, and we feel like that woman is the right one because when you meet her, you feel this certain kind of spark. She laughs, she smiles, she seems soft, she touches your arm, and she triggers all the things that you had triggered when you were a child with your mom. And now remember, guys, we talked about this. The reason why I bring up the mom part is because in your reality, your only idea of unconditional love was from your mom, who loved you and cared for you and appreciated you. And she never asked anything in return. And what we begin to do as young men is that we equate our mother's love to a woman and expect her to love us the way we love them, because that is where many guys go wrong, because they have a false interpretation of the world, thinking that women have to do certain things. She has to love you, she has to care about you, and she has to appreciate you. And women don't have to do anything at all. But when women start to do things like touch your arm, care about you, make you feel a certain way, in your mind you're thinking that you found the right one. You think in your mind, she's the one of my dreams. She's the one that I'm going to dedicate myself to. She's the one that I'm going to care for forever. She's the one I want to be with. She's the one I'm going to love. She's the one I'm going to care for. Whatever you fill in your blank, guys, you know what I'm talking about, and you say that she is the one, but technically she is not the one. And in that moment, you decide that she is special before she has even earned anything. And that is where the imbalance of power, or the power dynamics, or the sexual power dynamics begin to shift. See, with most guys out here, y'all are in this Hallmark card bubble where you guys assume that life is like a Hallmark card, and women are supposed to dedicate their bodies, their lips and their bodies to you and all this other stuff. But women are going to value women are always going to value, what they can lose. But women are always going to take for granted what they can't lose. And I want y'all to understand this, what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. See, the moment she knows, no matter what I'll do, this guy's going to stay, you're done. And I don't want you to think of women as bad and evil and cruel and mean and things like this. It's just that this is the power dynamics of the world that we're living in. And there's nothing in the world that says a woman has to play fair. Women don't have to play fair. And because she doesn't have to play fair, they don't have to care about your feelings, even though you care about theirs. And the thing is, once she knows that she controls the board, once she knows that you have your heart on your sleeve, you worry about losing her, you tell her how much you care, you tell her how bad she hurt your feelings, you tell her how bad you upset her, it is at that moment she knows that she controls the board, and that's where the shift, gentlemen, actually begins to happen. And I know a lot of you guys out there want everything to go your way, but the world doesn't have to work that way. And the problem that many of you guys face is that you guys are always investing way too fast. You're getting caught up way too deep. And then because she's doing all these things that you had a snapshot of how your mother was to you when you were young and you knew what love was, you took a mother's love and tied it into a woman's love and expected the woman to be like your mother, and there is no rule. Your mother loved you unconditionally because she had to, not had to, because there was a connection with you and your mother, a bond of 9 months where there was a greater connection. We're talking about a woman you just met just the other day, and yet you want her to be like your mother. And I'm saying not like your mother, I'm not trying to be weird and creepy, just trying to get y'all to connect something. So what happens is, because of this, you start to imagine a relationship with her, a future. You want to title something, and then in your mind you want to create this script called the love story. And meanwhile, you're doing all this stuff. She's just like contemplating in her head, do I even like this guy? Do I want to text this guy? What is it in for me? If I text him, is he going to do something magnificent, spontaneous? Is he going to move a certain way? So you can see there's already a huge imbalance in everything by the way you guys see the world and the way women are moving. And for many of you guys out there, that's what happens. That's where begins this big shift, because at that point, you're always trying to run behind her, and you want her to match your energy, but she's doing the exact opposite. And what happens is you then start to get mad and your feelings start to come into play, because you feel that I'm trying to give you everything. I'm trying to love you. I'm trying to appreciate you. I'm trying to care about you. But then you start to play an emotional game in which you will always lose. Whenever you're playing an emotional game with a woman, you're not going to win that game at all. She's going to win it 10 times out of 10. And many guys don't understand this. See, the thing is that when you are hurt and when you're upset, you do certain things, guys. When you get hurt and when you get upset, there's certain things that you do because you want to lash out at her. But what you do, it's not, and this doesn't make you a bad person, but what happens is that because you want her to love you and you want her to care about you so bad, sometimes it really hurts, you know what I mean? Let me get my mic is falling off. Sometimes it hurts really bad, and it hurts to a point where you want to make her feel your pain. But the problem is she's not feeling your pain because she doesn't care enough about you to feel anything about you at all. But in your world, you think that she's feeling you, and that's the problem. When she starts to text you really slow, you try to text her slow just to match her energy because you want to be, in your mind, as petty as she's being to you. But the thing is, guys, she's not being petty. She's just trying to show you that she's not actually interested in you. And she'll talk to you maybe once a week, one word here and there, a message here and there. And the more she does it, the more it pulls you in, the more you get upset, and the more you're trying to figure out, what am I doing wrong in all of this? And you start giving her 100% of yourself, 200% of yourself, 300% of yourself, only to get 5% back. And when you realize and become a student of the game, you don't give anything less than 100% to anybody, but you have to expect 100% back. No more giving 100% to someone that is giving you less than 100. and when you are doing, that's why you feel used, and that's why you feel angry, and that's why you're upset, because part of you wants so bad for her to be with you and invest in you and care about you, and she's not doing that. Guys, you have to understand, man. You have to live the world and learn the game and be a student of the game, or you're not going to understand what I'm saying. Is that every life that I have and every life that I'm always going to have is a life that she can enter, okay? Not a life that she can control. When you become one thought, one mind, one way, and you stop chasing her, you stop running behind her, what's going to happen is you're actually going to build a life that doesn't revolve around her. It's going to revolve around your diamond dick. And women are really, and again, she is not going to care about you whatsoever. But when do we give a fuck what women think? The thing is, her emotion is going to be more connected to a man of focus, a man who is connected to himself. That's what you want. Even though in her eyes she is controlling the board, she can't control her feelings. She can't control her emotions. And when her emotions begin to override her feelings, that's when everything begins to change, gentlemen. And that's what I'm trying to teach all you guys out here. And this is why it's very important that you guys learn what I'm trying to teach you. What it is you have to do when you start to learn the game, you'll start to realize when you are a student, only a student will get this. Everybody else, this is just words that you're gonna write down on paper. But the thing is, when you're one thought, one mind, one way, you rebuild her mind when you start to live again for yourself, for real. Not living for the woman, not going to the gym for the woman, not dressing up for the woman and doing everything for the woman. You go back to what you were doing. Go back to your hobbies. Stand on your schedule. Look at your time. Because when you're actually busy and you're busy, she is going to start to recognize that, because she's going to recognize that, you know what, you have this weird thing called priorities. And one thing about me, I always like to have my priorities. And gentlemen, for you guys out there, I'll give you an example of some of your priorities that most of you guys will have. For many of you guys, it could start with your family first. It could start with your mom or your dad first. And then it might come to your religion. And then it might come to your job or your friends or your hobbies. But a woman should never get in your top 5 who have not earned anything to even get in the door to see if she's worthy to be in your top 5, gentlemen. And when you actually are busy and you actually have a life, women want to be a part of your life, because what women don't know and what you guys don't get is that what women love about men like me and those that have game is that they enjoy when we reach out to them, because they know that we're doing a million things. They know that we have our own life. They also know we're entertaining other women. But they also know that, you know what, when he has time for me, he makes it all about me. And when he has time for me, he makes me feel like the only woman in the world when he's with me, and that's what I value about him. When a woman can see that your time is limited, she is actually going to see you different. And what she'll do is she'll plan ahead. She'll show more effort. She'll check in, and she will do this thing. She will try more. And it's not because as a guy, we try to force this on a woman. It's that she recognizes my value is something I don't play with. My time is something I don't play with. And if you don't move the right way that I need you to move like, then I'm not gonna mess with you. And the one rule that I always remember when I was a young one learning this game is that never ever be more invested than a woman, period. I invest more in myself. And women are always gonna pull back, guys, all right? They are always going to do something to try to pull your card to see what kind of man you are at the end of the day. And this is where the game is very important. This is why when women do things to men, we don't care, because we don't have our heart on our shoulder. I've always told you, God, the game is not a game of your feelings. You have to put your feelings aside. I know in your reality that because of how your mother treated you when you were young, that you had a great connection to how your mom made you feel. And because that happened, you took mental snapshots of how mom made you feel, and then you took that in the reality that you shouldn't be in, and you equated that to what I want from a woman. And if I get anything from a woman that reminds me of those snapshots, then that means this is a woman I should invest in. And just because a woman smiles and talks to you and all the other stuff doesn't mean that she is down for you, okay? A woman needs to feel, not through her logic, but her emotions. She's got to feel that you have a life. She's got to feel that you have direction. She's got to feel that you're different from everybody else, because if she doesn't feel that, she's not actually going to feel you. And this is why effort and appreciation go hand in hand when you have the game, because you're not actually forcing a woman to do, be, or say anything that you want her to be. I don't ask of a woman to do anything at all. All I want is for her to realize that you're not the prize. And when I do meet you, again, guys, in my mind, I am just giving you an invitation to be selected. But one thing I will always teach you guys is never equate your mother's love with an idea of what you want a woman to be. The moment you do that is the moment you're going to have all kind of failed relationships, because in your reality, which I keep trying to tell you, is the one you shouldn't be in. It is a man-made reality only built for one thing and one thing only. And that reality is built on you just getting a job and being a good person. That's all it is. It's nothing more. And I know many of you guys want so much more of the reality that you're in, and you want women to be so much more. You want women to love you and care for you and appreciate you. And I get that. I know you want that, but you set a precedence for yourself to set yourself up for a downfall, because you're looking for women to be more like your mother. I'm not saying your mom, you know what I'm talking about. I'm saying as far as how she feels about you, thinks about you, and cares about you. And when you do that kind of thing, gentlemen, this is where everything goes wrong. Everything goes wrong because you create in your world an illusion of what a relationship is going to be with this woman. And the moment you create that illusion, because you're writing a false script and a false story, it is you are actually creating a fantasy in which you are taking out all the details of the truth. The truth meaning that she's not interested in you. The truth is she's only giving you 10% of her time. The truth is she was never into you in the first place. She gave you cookie crumbs or pussy crumbs, and you thought that meant she cared about you. And that's not how it works in the game, and that's not how women will be. And that's why it's important, guys, when you learn the game and you understand the game, one thought, one mind, one way, you're going to change your interpretations. And this is why being a student of the game is so important, because once you become the student, then you will understand the depth and range of what it means to be connected to yourself in a way that you've never been connected before. Too many of you guys out here are connected to the possibilities of what women can bring to you versus what you bring to yourself. And for every guy that does that, this is why you get the letdown, and this is why you guys get hurt, is because most of you guys are doomed to fail relationships where you invest too much in the woman, you fall in love too soon, you get your heart broken, she mistreats you, and then you just repeat everything over again. And that's why I say, for all you guys out here, this is why the game is so important, because at the end of the day, I don't want anything bad to happen to you. I just want you guys to learn how to appreciate yourselves. But the only way that you're going to break this cycle and have women value you is based on how much you value yourself. When you don't value yourself, gentlemen, you will have what we call the assumption disease. When you don't value yourself, you're going to move different, think different, and see the world different. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, I cannot force women to treat you like your mother treated you when you were a baby. But what I can do is force you to be a better man, and then the emotions are going to force the woman to be a better woman. You don't have to force a woman to do anything. When a woman has that space, we're always talking about space, that space to miss you, it is at that point you change everything up. You can turn this game around and you can change everything, gentlemen. You just have to draw a line in the sand and say, okay, it is time that I become the student to learn things in which I can't understand and can't comprehend right now, and begin to grow. Or not, it's your choice. But I don't want to see this to happen to you in 2026. And I hope these messages that you get show that what value looks like when you actually have value with yourself. So gentlemen, this is going to be the end of our video, but not the end of our discussion. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. We want to hear what you think and hear what you feel. And gentlemen, I look forward to hearing from you. And if you like this video right here, please watch this video that we have right here. It's very important because this video actually talks about the assumption disease. If you haven't listened to it, it's a very important video to watch. So please watch it, guys. I appreciate you, and I'll hear from you soon. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.